How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Complex, and we are going to jump right into it. Today we have an article from Kotaku, and it is titled, Atlus Apologizes for Persona 5 Streaming Restrictions and Loosens Them. Now, if you don't know about Persona 5, you've obviously been living under a rock for the past month, or you dropped all access to the internet in the toilet, because this game is one of the biggest games in the industry right now, one of the most anticipated titles to release in 2016 and 2017, depending on your respective regions. Now, when Atlus released this game over in the West on April 4th, they decided to add some restrictions to how people could upload videos and stream content about this video in regards to the story. This was done clearly out of spoiler issues, and they didn't want people to be able to go on the internet and just watch through the entire story. They wanted them to have their own experience buying the game and playing it for themselves. Now, you can see that there's some drawbacks to that for Atlus, therefore with people not being able to stream the full game on Twitch, upload YouTube videos, certain reviews, spoilers, and it really put a threatening notice out to content creators. So you can see here, Atlus prohibited people from streaming beyond the in-game day of July 7th, which is something that upsets some hardcore fans. While it's not a perfect solution, Atlus has decided to move that date back a few months, so this is where we get into the quote-unquote loosening of the restrictions. And we have a quote here from Atlus. We recognize that our fans are the reason why the game is the major worldwide success it is, and we continue to want to help them, to want them to be able to enjoy the game without fear of being spoiled. That is the big kicker with this with these restrictions is people being spoiled. However, we also heard your issues with the guidelines and have decided to revise them because we want to give players the most access to the game while respecting the original goal. We're now asking players to refrain from streaming or posting video past the end of the in-game date of November 19th when the story gears up for the final act. I want to apologize to those who saw the previous guideline blog post as threatening. We want to be transparent about what we do, and the reason we released the guidelines was to give streamers the right information up front. It was never our intention to threaten people with copyright strikes, but we clearly chose the wrong tone for how to communicate this. Now, in some ways that's a good thing for people because Atlus is kind of loosening their grip on this whole thing with Persona 5, which has been a big deal in the past couple of weeks with people not being able to stream the full game, fear of copyright strikes, etc. However, it doesn't alleviate the problem in its entirety because we can only now go up to November 19th. So, in some ways it's a good thing, some ways it's just kind of like, why even do it if you're not going to if you're not going to fix the whole thing, So it's kind of a 50-50 toss here. I can understand where Atlus is coming from with this, though, because Persona is such a heavily story-based game. You don't want people to be spoiled, and when you have something as big as Google, YouTube, the internet in general, it is very easy to see spoilers all over the place when a new game comes out if you're not on top of it day one, week one, what have you. But at the same time, you can also see where some other people might be thinking this kind of sucks because you want to watch a Let's Play on YouTube or something, maybe your favorite streamer is playing it, but they can only go to a certain date, and then it takes away from the whole point of watching them play the game. And so you might look at it like Atlus is doing this as a money grab. You can't see the story unless you buy it for yourself. You have to pay the $60. But while that may seem like a bad thing, in a way it's not, because you have to remember, guys, Persona 5 is a video game, and Atlus is a company. They're providing a product, and they want to sell that product. And with the rise of technology and the internet and torrenting, pirates, and etc., it's very easily stolen information and content for people these days. So with Atlus doing this, it kind of helps boost their sales. Is that kind of a bad thing? No. They're trying to sell this game, and I think that's a great thing. Everybody should be playing these games because they are phenomenal. I'm about 40 hours in myself and not even halfway through the game, so there's a lot to do there. But here we have some good news for Persona 5 in a way. Looking up a bit, maybe eventually later on down the line when hype dies down for Persona 5, they will lift the restrictions entirely. But that's all I have for you today, guys. I want you to leave a comment down below if you think that these guidelines are acceptable? Do you think this is totally ridiculous and Atlus shouldn't have put them in place in the first to begin with? I will catch you guys in the next video.